believe I'm getting close to starting here. Doing a little bit of cleaning up on my desk here. Let's see. Nothing really planned for today. Set these aside. Let the music play out itself, and I'll get right into it. Maybe bring the music down here. There we go. I have absolutely no idea what that sounds like. I'll have to check it out in the replay. Let's see. Well, thank you all for joining me again, whether you're live, lurking, or catch me on a replay. It is a nice, lazy Saturday afternoon. All right. My desk is in disorder here. There it is. So as you can tell by the thumbnail, this is more of a continuation from last weekend, where I was talking about X titles, X Men, X Force, X this, X that, mutant this, mutant that. I was really thinking about doing a stream on Wolverine because I have a near complete run of Wolverine books someplace, or at least I thought I had. But of course, when I went to look for them, I could not find them all. I don't know if it's a sort of thing where I kind of misremembered or misplaced some books over the years. That's kind of what happens when you find yourself moving from one place to another. Dun, 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 dun. I can go ahead and do that right there. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Do this, do this. Do that right there. Yeah. So I was trying to find, what was I trying to find? I was trying to find what I thought was a complete run of Wolverine from the 90s, from like issue 1 to issue 50 or issue 75, because I've got a good stack of Wolverine, but unfortunately, I can't find the first 40 or first 50 issues, and it's the sort of thing where you kind of it's a sort of thing where I realize I don't have the comics I used to have. Some have been misplaced over the years. Probably lost some. I don't know. I won't say lost some moving here and there. Some things have gotten misplaced as I go through my comic book collection from way back when. Let me go ahead and fire up the old desk cam. So right off the bat, I've got a good stack of, oh, this is X-Men Volume 2, number 1. This is the, oops, as I bump into my microphone here. I'll set these aside here. These were the books that came out in the early 90s when everything was just going crazy. The 90s being what they were: Image, Valiant, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse. Everybody was doing a little bit of everything. have a well, I won't say a near complete run. I have like almost the first, what is this? 15, 16, 18, 20. There's a good stack of X-Men Volume 2. I don't have a full run of these up to, what is this? Issue, what does this say? Issue 40. So I have almost 1 through 40, but not complete. Like I said, this is more of a continuation of what I started last week, going through my X-Men comics, seeing what I had, taking the bags off of them, getting ready to be rebagged and reboarded. I'm going to set these aside. So X-Men #1. These hit in, what did they hit? 91. I know. Dun, 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 dun. And of course, they've got the small print here. October of 1991. Oh, this says Volume 1, #1, but I think this might be, I don't know, would this be more correctly stated as being Volume 2 of X-Men? This is what came out in 91. Millions and millions sold. Oh, right off the bat, right out of the gate. First in chat, Tina the Naughty Dragon. Hello there. Good to see you hanging out today. So this book was, let's see if I got enough room on my desk for all this. Let's see. I can push, bring this over out of camera. There we go. Aha. So, of course, just like trading cards, you have the gimmick of the variant cover, or you have to buy them all to have a complete set of the first issue. Yeah, this is the first issue of X-Men #1. You put them all together and they form this nice little landscape image of the X-Men fighting Magneto. Ooh. Aha, and I see Gap After Dark. Hello there. Good to see you all here today. I want to thank you all, whether you're live, lurking, or you catch it on a replay. And my kitty cat is chiming in if my microphone is good enough to pick her up, her meows up. She was quiet a few minutes ago, and then she hears me talking, and it's like, oh, I have to chime in. Oh, goodness. So we have X-Men #1, Rubicon, Magneto, stating, I am Magneto. Story and art. Story, writing chores are handled by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee. The art by Jim Lee. Scott Williams doing the inking. Tom Orzechowski doing the lettering. And Joe Rosas doing ROSAS. Rosas. I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce that last name. So anyway, Joe did the coloring. We have some great artwork here. Going way back when. Nice dynamic panels in this book. Tina said she got scared of a dragon appearing. Yes, yes. Or kitty cat just wants attention. If she doesn't settle down in a few minutes, I may have to pause things and then come back, make sure she's okay. I just gave her some food like 10 minutes ago, but when she decides she wants attention, she lets me know. So there's that. There is. So at the time, I was working, half working at a comic book store, hanging out at a comic book store. This book hit right about the same time as all the other comic books from that era. Oh, here we go. Again, what is this? I don't know what this is. Oh, this is issue 1 as well. So yeah, there's like multiple number 1s. This is a trifold number 1. We get the same thing. It's the same content in the book. They just, oh, look at this multifold book. Yes, bam, exactly. And what is my kitty cat's name? Her name is Missy. She is one of my house cats and the one that makes the most noise when she wants attention. And she always seems to know when I am live streaming. It's like I click on my mixer and somehow she's able to pick up that I am about to go live and decide she wants to be part of the show. Oh, goodness. Here we go. So here I am looking at this. Okay, so I've got this comic, this comic, this comic. There's like, I don't know, 4 of these. This is ridiculous. This is from the gimmick era of the 90s. It's like, how do we sell more books? We just print more books. And I've got everything here, yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, she is not letting up, so I am going to have to take a quick moment here. Bear with me as I go off camera and see if she's okay. So I will put some music on. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. So everyone hang out a spell. Dun, 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 dun. I will see if she is all right. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to put, what I'm going to do something. This here? Yes, yes. Okay, everyone. I will be back in 2 minutes to make sure my kitty cat is okay, that she is not tearing something up. Otherwise, she is going to continue meowing for a solid hour. She will meow if I don't go and tend to her. So let me put on this. I'll be back shortly, everyone. Thank you for your patience. I'll come back to X-Men in a few minutes. All right, and I'm back. I want to thank you all. All right, I tell you, there's nothing quite like the bottomless pit that is a kitty cat's stomach. As I worry about overfeeding her, it's like, no, I'm fine. I want just more food. Like, I already fed you, kitty. All right. Let me check things out here. I want to catch up with you all in the chat. Thank you all for being patient as I take a few minutes to make sure my kitty cat is fine. She is like she was dumped on my property during the start of the coof a few years back. So it's like she's almost kind of like a rescue kitty. See, Tina saying, my dad was a pop culture guru and introduced me to the X-Men with the original lineup with the characters' original origins. Cool. Very cool. And Gap After Dark saying, what was the name of the music you were played there? Very cool. That music is what comes with StreamYard. That was what did I have on there? Spy versus Spy, DJ Williams, as part of the free background music that StreamYard gives you. It's a good opening track I found that something kind of goes along with the content I want to I like sharing from time to time. Another track I sometimes play is this track called High Noon by Track Tribe, also free on the StreamYards. Yes, we're getting down with some funky music and some comic books. That's right. This track always makes me think it's like a opening theme for a 70s crime movie or what have you. Bring that down a hair. I've got it on low and I can hear it in my headphones. I have absolutely no idea what it sounds like in the background, but I've got it on low. I'm talking about comic books here. I can keep it going. It shouldn't be intrusive. Let's see. Where was I? I want to do this. Hack. No, that's not what I want to do. I've pushed the wrong button. But all is well here. All is well. Let's do that once again. And now I go back here and I want to do that. That's what I was wanting to do. That's what I was wanting to do right there as I get back to my stack of X-Men comics with the music in the background. So we got some jazzy music going. We got some comic books and a little bit of chat on a lazy Saturday afternoon. Hope everyone is doing well. That your Saturday is going all right. I'll bring the music down just a hair. So yeah, this book was number one. It was the next volume of the X-Men comic book that came out 1991. Selling like hotcakes. Story by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee, who handled writing chores at the same time. Jim Lee doing the art, so you got some great Jim Lee art in these books. You got the 90s early 90s gimmick cover going on here where you have to buy multiple issues of the same book, because there's like these 4 variant issues that all go together to form a giant landscape poster, and you've got a single issue here that has a trifold, gatefold, I don't know, multifold. Oh, here we go. If I can open this up, there we go. So there you go, right there. You can check that out. And it says down here, and the best is yet to come. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Of course, the sad thing, I kind of half remember people lining up, buying these at comic book stores, getting excited like, oh, these are going to be the next best thing. They're going to hold them for 20, 30 years, and they'll be able to put their kids through college or some such nonsense. And it's like, no, sorry. Old comic books are valuable for a reason. If your claim to fame is that you've sold 8 million issues of #1, it's not going to be any kind worth anything anytime soon. It's not going to be worth bucket loads of cash, not unless there's like a campaign destroy millions and millions of issues of these X-Men #1. Now, I have absolutely no idea what these are worth. If they're worth more than 20-30 bucks each, as I'm like flipping these around, tossing around. Like, I don't care about condition for comic books. For me, I believe comic books should be read and enjoyed. And if you sandwich these between 2 pieces of plastic, you're not really going to enjoy it all that much. Now, of course, I'm going to definitely rebag these as I go through and remove you can see even it's so old, even the Scotch tape is yellowing here. Yeah, that's like 30-year-old Scotch tape. As it goes away, and a 30-year-old cardboard. There we go. Issue #2. All right, so let me pull up a synopsis of. Let's see. Synopsis for X-Men #1, titled Rubicon. A group of mutants have stolen a shuttle and are being pursued by some agents. Magneto arrives and tears their ships apart before bringing them on board. Asteroid M. Yes, that's like the hideout for the mutants at the time. At the mansion of the X-Men, they're testing the building's defenses. They split into 2 teams, but only Wolverine, with Psylocke's help, are able to breach them. The 2 different crews fight on board the asteroid until Magneto stops them. One of them, Fabian Cortez, has a suggestion for Magneto. Back at the mansion, the X-Men Blue Team respond to a signal that Magneto is up to something. He has raised a nuclear submarine. The X-Men confront him, but after a brief battle, he flies off with the nuclear weapons. Rogue tries to follow him to talk, but is shot down by a Russian plane. Magneto is hurt and is healed by Cortez. Rogue is found in Genosa, but is pursued by the newly formed Acolytes, wanting her to join them. She disagrees and fights them, and the X-Men arrive to help her. Magneto turns up and declares that Asteroid M will be a haven for all mutant kind. So that's everything that's going on in the first issue. So then it's like they were having a beach day. Magneto shows up, says, no, Asteroid M is mine. It's off limits. It's a haven for all mutant kind. So the age-old battle between Xavier, the X-Men, and Magneto and Magneto's followers. I know I've read these. It's just been ages since the last time I've breezed through these. But right now I am just going through all my books, trying to organize them, seeing what I still have left after 30 years. Gap After Dark saying, wow, that Scotch tape is 30 years old. Yes. Here's issue 3. We got some Colossus action there as he's fighting. I think at this point, the X-Men divided up into 2 teams to go after Magneto. One of the teams was captured, and some of Magneto's followers tried brainwashing some of the X-Men to fight on their side. So you have one team of X-Men fighting against another team. So yeah. This is, to show you guys, this is an old, 30-year-old poly bag. This is bright, shiny, brand spanking new Mylar bag that is freaking out my camera. But anyway, Mylar, acid-free, clear, super shiny. Polyethylene bags just have that chemical feel to them. And a 30-year-old backing board. Melted Copper. Hello, Melted Copper. He's saying Sega Genesis had the first decent home console X-Men. That Wolverine game was tolerable. If you saw the Nintendo X-Men game, what he had to tolerate then. Yeah. So let's see. At the end of issue 3, I believe the X-Men prevail in their fight against Magneto, and let's see, do they capture Magneto, or do they just let him go and kind of keep their distance? I think he's let go to stay on Asteroid M, and they go their separate ways. So that is issue 3. Issue 4 is, of course, the new threat of a Omega Red. Let's see. As we get rid of bag and board, clutter up my floor. That's all right. Let's see. I think at some point, I think it's Lee, Jim Lee, still doing the art. Chris Claremont. Yeah, the resurrection in the flesh. Yeah, this is a issue where Omega Red is resurrected. Okay, it looks like it's Jim Lee and Byron. Okay, so Chris Claremont took off after issue 3, and writing chores are handled by Byron. Where is it? Where's this little splash page that says who does what? Usually it's in the front of the book. Sometimes they put it in the back. Usually a little bit that says who did the writing, who did the art. Anyway, it just has a Lee, Byron, Williams, Orzechowski, Rosas, blah, 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 blah. All right. So yeah, they're having to deal with a revitalized Omega Red there. Oh, hello, Ray Lucard. Good to see you here today. So he's asking, do I have the issue of Alf? Okay, I am not familiar with this. Oops. As the chat jumps on me. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here we go. So I have the issue of Alf Comics where there's a spoof X-Men. Magneto was Magneto. Oh, no, I don't have that one. That's a new one to me. F a flight. Okay. Now, Copper saying the kids next door, the cartoon, did a solid X-Men parody. There's Christmas theme, and Wolverine was like wintergreen. Okay. Oh, those are all. That's all new to me, huh? Oh, hello there, Edge of Time. Greetings from the Edge of Time. Aha, very cool. Here's issue 5 at the hands of Omega Red. Look at that cover. Good old Wolverine facing off against Omega Red. Oh, here we go. Jim Lee still doing the art and the writing, well, the plot. John Byron doing the script. Scott Williams, Art Thibert, Bob, oh, I can't read that. Bob something or other. Then Joe Rubenstein doing the inking. Tom and Lois doing the lettering. And Joe doing the coloring. So, get Jim Lee artwork here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, X-Men issue 5. Pretty cool art there. Yep. As I carefully remove the next one. Along came Sabretooth. More Jim Lee art. Yeah, I guess Jim Lee's handling the interior art as well as the cover art there, which is always cool to see his cover art. I like it when panels are really dynamic, and you can't get any more dynamic than that. Oh, and there's Long Shot from Mojoverse. We get a little bit of everything going on in these books. Issue 7. There we go. Oh. 30-year-old Scotch tape goes away. X-Men number 7. Jim Lee doing the plot and the breakdowns. Art Thibert doing the finishing. Scott Lobdell doing the dialogue. Tom Orzakowski, the lettering. Joe doing the coloring. Pretty cool stuff. So how's everybody doing this Saturday afternoon? Having a good Saturday afternoon? Nice weather, enjoying a nice, relaxing, lazy Saturday. Oh, Gambit and Bishop. X-Men number 8 with a special appearance by Ghost Rider. Okay, so This issue has everything going for it. Gap After Dark saying, yep, a good Saturday afternoon. That's cool. So I'm trying to, oh, look at that. Wolverine versus Ghost Rider. That's crazy. Here we go. I carefully remove this. I'm always worried about the cover getting stuck to the tape. I managed to pull the book free from the tape, so that's always good. We have the X-Men, and then we have Ghost Rider looking particularly fearsome. We have typical 90s advertisements going on in the books. Not quite as entertaining as comic book advertisements you would see in like comic books from the 70s or 80s, because those advertisements were always a hoot. X-Men number 10, Because You Demanded It, The Return of Longshot. Let's see, who's still doing the artwork? It's still a Jim Lee cover. Yep, Jim Lee is still doing the writing and scripting chores for this book. Very cool stuff. X-Men number 11 plus Maverick and the Xavier Files. So yeah, it's nice to have good, consistent art, because I do love the artwork and the art style in these books. For some strange reason, I talk about X-Men from the 70s and 80s. Then when I get to the 90s and start talking about X-Men, that's usually when I hear moans or groans for some reason. I don't know if it's the quality of the books or people are just kind of tired of the gimmicks in the early 90s. Because really, the market was glutted with comic books all over the place. Issue number 13. I was not big into X-Men all that much. I did keep up with them at the time, but I think I was more into some obscure books. I think I was at the time in the early 90s, I was getting more into Valiant and a little bit of Image. Everybody was going crazy over Image comics. And I'm still a Valiant fanboy. I will still talk about Valiant comics and how great they were, because from like 90 or 91 to 92, those were the best years for Valiant. But then Marvel and DC also had some interesting stuff going on. Of course, there was Image. There was Dark Horse that was doing a lot of really cool stuff. All right. So this artwork, Okay, so we have Fabian Nicieza. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Fabian N is handling the writing. Andy Kubert is penciler. Mark Pennington, the inker. Louis Boalis is the letterer. Mary Javins, the colorist. So at some point, Jim Lee took off. Let's see here. Yeah. Where was Jim Lee's last book? I can tell the art changed. Art Thieberts. This is it, issue 11. All right, so this was the last issue with Jim Lee. Then we changed up writing and art chores from 12 on. Still good artwork. I still like the art to these. Oh, that's right. Executioner's Song was the big X-Men X-title storyline from that period of time. 1992 at this point. This is part 3 of Executioner's Song. This is part 7. I don't really remember what all was going on with Executioner's Song. Well, that's still pretty cool looking art there. Dragon Quest, a multi-page advertisement for Dragon Quest or whatever that was. That's cool. X-Men number 16, Executioner's Song number 11. All right. Anybody out there around comic books at this time? Did y'all keep up with X-Men during this era? What do y'all remember from the X titles from the 90s? Feel free to share. All right, we have Andy Kubert doing the art and the inking. Fabian Nicieza doing the writing, all the pages. And I'll just put it up here because I'm butchering that name, I know. That fellow right there. Mark Pennington doing the inking and everything else. Okay, this is pretty decent artwork. That's pretty cool. Gonna check my phone as my phone is going off. Okay. No, spam phone call. Okay. If it wasn't for spammers, I wouldn't get any phone calls, but I would be all right with that. X-Men number 17. Here comes the Soul Skinner. Sometimes the tape just doesn't want to let go, but that's all right. It's Kubert and Pennington still handling the art chores. Some of these I just don't remember. I'm going to have to go back and reread these to see what they're all about because it's, like I said, it's been ages. I guess that's typical. You buy a comic book, you read through it a few times, you put it in a bag and board, and you put it in a long box, or short box, and then you don't touch it for 10, 20, 30 years. And then one day you start thinking about them and go, oh, hey, I might want to change the bags and boards out. Because those old poly bags and boards don't last forever. And it looks like we've got a return of Omega Red. Wow. Gap After Dark saying, never thought about changing the bags and boards out until I watched your streams. Yeah. I was going back and forth on like how long do old poly bags last? And I can't find anything really conclusive like, oh, you should change them out every 5 years, 10 years, whatever, or it's okay if you leave comics and old poly bags and old backing boards. But then some of my older comic books, when I started unbagging them, the bags started turning really yellow and the boards started absorbing the colors from the back cover of the comics. So I thought, okay, it might be time to change them out. Let's see. By Fabian N. and Andy Kubert. This is issue number 20. So I skipped. Oh, I don't have issue 19. Okay. 18, 16, 15, 14. 13, 12. It's a pretty consistent run from 1 to 17, 1 through 18. Then I missed 19. Yeah, then I started thinking, if I'm going to change out my bags and boards, I might as well step up my bag game with Mylar bags, especially for books that I kind of care about keeping long term. And these Mylar bags are super clear. They're supposed to last, well, they're supposed to be truly archival. And they make that nice little crisp plasticky sound. And new acid-free boards. Set that aside. Plus, as I go ahead and set these aside, plus, if I take a book and put it in a Mylar bag, there's just something about the Mylar that makes the artwork pop. As my camera freaks out trying to focus on that. But yeah, it's just something. The Mylar as opposed to the old poly bags. As I reach down and grab one off my floor, you can see old polyethylene comic bags, old, dingy looking. They have that kind of chemically plastic feel to them. It's like, nah. Now, if you've got a collection of comic books you kind of care about and you want to keep long term, it might be worth it looking into changing out the bags and boards, or at least looking at changing them out. The Mylar bags are more expensive than the poly bags, but I believe they're worth it. Plus, if you buy them directly from the manufacturer, you can get volume discounts as opposed to purchase them off of, I don't know, Amazon, Walmart, other retail places. So that is X-Men number 21, featuring Gambit, Psylocke, and Revenge, whoever that is. I'm going to set him there. X-Men number 22. Looks like the artwork is still handled by Mark Pennington doing the inking, Bill Oakley doing the lettering, Joe R. doing the coloring, and it looks like Fabian and Andy Kubert are handling the writing and penciling. So Andy Kubert's doing the artwork. Story chores by what's his name? Fabian Nicieza. I know I'm butchering that name, but so that was. Did I skip issues here? What was that? That was 22. So here is 26. Okay, I gotta make a note of the issues I am missing to go back and try filling in the issues that I am lacking. So I jumped from 22 to issue 26. Let's see, I've been rambling on here a good hour or so. Hello, everyone out there. Got quite a few watching me, and I do appreciate it. Thank you all for joining me on a lazy Saturday afternoon as I talk about comic book things and all things related to comic books. What is this? All right, so we got comic book, and then we have like multiple pages of whatever this is. Take a walk down a dark alley of the Marvel Universe, as we have pages on that. Okay. Issue 26. Who's doing the art? It's still Kubert and... Oh, hang on. Looks like it was somebody else new handling the... No, it's still Fabian, Kubert, Matt Ryan. As the name of this issue is Civil Disobedience. So I go from 26 to 28. Okay. I think this was... What was this? 93? When was this? There was a point around 93, 94 that I kind of stopped collecting comic books. This might have been that period of time. And I'm trying to read the small print, and it is so small. Back as I bump into my microphone here. This does not help. Now, how small is a print that a magnifier doesn't help? I'm going to guess 93. I can't actually read. Not even with a magnifier, I can't read that fine print. So that's got to be 93. That was about the same period of time that I quit working at a comic book store, moved on to a quote-unquote real job. Graduated college at that time and started working in the real world as opposed to having fun times at a comic book store. I'll jump from 26 to 28. I'm going to have to go through and get some loose issues to fill in the gaps on these. I'll jump from 28 to issue 36. And 36, part of the Phalanx Covenant storyline. As we got some shiny foil going on the cover here. All right, volume 1, number 36, September of 94. And I did not even need a magnifier for that, because they made the print human size. And we've got, oh, what is this? A crazy fold out of Generation X. Yes. Another big gimmick book from the 90s. Tina saying, you want to see small print, a Canadian cell phone contract is minuscule. Yeah, I can believe it. Yeah, issue 37. Okay, oh, Generation Next Part 2. This says Generation Next Part 4. So somewhere along the line, there were gaps in the story. It is kind of annoying when you have storylines divided out over multiple issues of multiple titles, because it's like, oh, here, collect everything. Collect all the books. Buy all the books. Buy everything. So again, we got that going on. We got some foil cover action stuff nonsense there. And for some reason, I have 2 issues of 37. I don't know why. That must have been a mistake. That one wasn't even taped. I could not have been bothered to tape that particular polybag, but oh well. There's 37. And then the last issue I have from this volume of X-Men from the 90s is issue 40. And we've got Legion Quest Part 2 of 4. And I guess Legion Quest has to deal with this fella here. I guess that's Professor Xavier's son. I forget his name, but there was a TV show about Professor Xavier's son being in a mental asylum. And the paper changed. I can feel that right off the bat. So at some point, they were doing something that was more akin to old school newsprint and the earlier books. And then as they went along, here's issue 40. The paper is really different. This is glossier, thicker paper stock. Let's see, who's doing what here? We still have Fabian doing the writing, Andy Kubert doing the penciling, Matt Ryan the inking, so on and so on. And that was it for my run of X-Men Volume 1, or what some people would call Volume 2 of X-Men. So I set these aside. Now I've got some miscellaneous books here. I have X-Men Adventures, first issue, explosive action from the hit TV series. So that was a pretty cool TV show way back when. X-Men Adventures. Here's the comic book based on it. I've got a what if. What if the Hulk had killed Wolverine? We'll dig into that in a little bit here. X-Men Unlimited, first issue collector's item. In case you are ever in any doubt if it was a collector's item, they stamp collector's item right there on the cover saying, hey, it's a first issue and it's collectible. You'd better collect it. You'd better collect it, buy multiple issues, slab them between 2 pieces of plastic, have them graded, because these will be worth something in years to come, as I am tossing it around, bending it around. No, comic books are meant to be read and enjoyed. It's only after you read it multiple times, you put it in a bag and board and store it in a, why do I have 2 issues of that? I don't know. Now read it, enjoy it. Books are meant to be read. Books are meant to be read and enjoyed. Doesn't matter if they're comic books or if they're novels, graphic novels. X-Men Adventures, Fox Kids Network. Exciting action from the hit, that says hit TV series. So I've got 1, 2. There's issue 3, Enter Magneto. Look at that, 30-year-old Scotch tape right there as he goes away. And again, plenty of reminders that it's from the hit TV series, because it's right across the top there, from the hit TV series, in case you had forgotten. All right, I'm going to go back to see who did the writing, the art, and the whatnot on these. A writing by Ralph Macchio? Like Karate Kid Ralph Macchio, or are there 2 Ralph Macchios? Okay. Andrew Wildman did the art. Robert Campanella did the inking. Michael Higgins did the lettering. Glennis Oliver did the coloring. Night of the Sentinels. I vaguely remember that animated show. I know I enjoyed it. It was a great cartoon from way back when. I know there's X-Men 97 out on TV right now. I just don't want to watch it without going back and watching the original animated series from way back when. There's issue 4. And apparently I'd skipped issue 5 and have 2 issues of issue 6. Okay. I don't know why. Tina the Dragon saying, I never understood the concept of getting your comic graded and sealed in a plastic case. I can kind of understand it. Like if you've got a copy of a rare book that there's only like 50 of in existence. Yeah, if you've got a book that there's only 50 examples of and the entirety of existence, then yeah, that needs to be preserved. But if you've got an issue of a book that's been printed, like hundreds of thousands of copies floating out there, it's not going to be worth much, if anything. Got the New Mutants, number 87. Here comes a man called Cable. Ooh. All right, so this is notable because it is Rob Liefeld doing the art, Louis Simonson doing the writing, Bob Wiacek doing the inking, and for some reason we got McFarlane. So we got Liefeld and McFarlane right here. So something like this, if this is a key issue, I'll put it in a Mylar bag. But some of the books I have that are kind of common, beat up, I'll probably put them in like poly bags, some nice poly bags. If they're like reprints, it's poly bag. If it's a book I actually care about, it'll get a Mylar bag. If I ever owned like the first appearance of Batman or the first appearance of Superman, then yeah, I would get that slabbed. Just from the cultural significance of some comic books. But yeah, stuff from the 90s, there's so many of them out there. Like Spawn #1 from Image. So many of that made. All right, so this is Marvel Milestone Edition. This is, of course, a reprinting of X-Men #1, 1963. And it's in a poly bag. All right, this, even though it's a reprint, I'd probably put this in a Mylar bag just because the book is in fair shape. The spine is pretty crisp. It's simply a reprint of the original X-Men comic book from 1963, but you get to see what the original X-Men lineup was from 1963. Everybody looked different. Iceman, Beast, Angel or Archangel, Professor Xavier, Cyclops. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll put that in a Mylar bag. Now, some of the books I really care about, I put them in Mylar bags, like my collection of Star Wars comics from the 70s and 80s. Those are Mylar bagged. This is a flashback Wolverine -1. I don't understand. I don't know where this came from. I either bought this or got it in a trade someplace. I probably got this from somebody else's collection. Larry Hama doing the writing, Carrie Nord doing the penciling, Scott Hanna doing the inks, Richard Starkings and Comic Craft EM doing the lettering, Joe doing the coloring, Mark Powers, the associate, Bob Harris, editor-in-chief. So that's odd. I don't know what this book is. I'm going to have to look this book up and see what it's about. X-Force #1. And then Excalibur versus X-Men Special Edition. So little oddball issues like this, I'll keep in Mylar. First issues. Now, I think I once knew somebody who only collected first issues, I think. He might have collected other stuff, but I got a long box of various comics from a friend of a friend of a friend sort of thing. And it was like first issues all over the place. It was some oddball books from oddball publishers. And it was first issue of this, first issue. Very rarely did I see anything beyond issue 3 or issue 4. And this is art by Rob Liefeld. Story or words by Fabian Nicieza. Chris Eliopolis doing the lettering. Brad Venkata doing the coloring. So yeah, X-Force #1. You got that Liefeld art there. Very cool stuff. Yeah, look at that. Battletoads. Very cool stuff. Yep. That's in pretty clean condition, actually. And if I gently do this, ta-da! Front and back cover. How about that? So yeah, that's kind of neat. He gets a Mylar bag. That feels a little bit thicker than a normal sized comic book. And what else do I have here that I haven't touched? I'll save the what if until later. X-Men Unlimited. Okay, the book that I was unceremoniously fanning around, tossing around about my desk. That is really thick. X-Men Unlimited, first issue, Survival. Artwork looks pretty good. I don't know anything about it. June 1993. An X-Men epic by Scott Lobdell doing the writing. Chris Bacalo doing the art. Dan Panosian doing the inking. Chris, you people's last names are going to kill me. Iliopolis doing the lettering. Glennis Oliver doing the coloring. Tom DeFalco, I guess, editor-in-chief, but he has listed as Evil Mutant. Oh yes, Tom DeFalco, the Evil Mutant of Marvel. That's pretty cool looking. That's because it's in such great shape. I'll put him in a nice shiny bag. Yes, there's the sound of crisp new Mylar. All right. Special edition Excalibur versus X-Men. All right. Oh, this poly bag's got some age to it. Now, if you ever see a poly bag that is partially crinkled like that and looks kind of, ooh. If you can see it, if my camera can get it, there is like a, what is that? The backing board. Oh yes, the backing board actually leached some of the ink in the back of the comic. So you can kind of see the figure right here that's on the backing board that is from this guy right here. So yeah, after a while, the backing boards will leach the ink and stuff off the cover. Let me see if I can, because this is actually a good example. There we go. You can kind of see the makeout of this guy here. That's in the book. That is crazy. That is a very good example of why it's important to change out your bags and boards. Huh. All right, Excalibur versus X-Men. 1992. Scott Lobdell doing the writing, pencils and inkings, Chapter 1. Scott Lightley, Jimmy Palmiotti, Ron Lim. Oh, I remember Ron Lim. Al Gordon, Dwayne Turner. Oh, Dwayne Turner. Yeah, I know that name. Joe Rubenstein. Joe Maduria. Another name who I have unfortunately butchered. Scott McManus. Jay Lee on Chapter 5 doing the art and the inking. Malcolm Jones, Chapter 6, doing his own inking of his art. Rick Leonard, Al Williamson. So that's like, I got a number of people doing the inking and the art chores. Whatever this particular book is about. Looks pretty good. Oh, Nightcrawler. I will actually have to reread that sometime just to see if I can remember what all was going on with it. So that's kind of neat. Now, as far as like the lifespan of Mylar bags to poly bags, I haven't really found anything conclusive on how long Mylar is supposed to last. It's supposed to be archival, completely acid-free, and all that jazz. Let's see. That's a little bit better shape, but after a period of time, the poly bags start fading. They just start showing their age. All right, what if the Hulk had killed Wolverine? What if issue 50, 1993, I'm guessing, because we've got 30 years of X-Men from 63 to 93. We've got this very nice embossed foil gimmick cover. What if is in foil. Wolverine is embossed. And it's super shiny. You got a reflection of the Hulk and Wolverine's shiny skull. And we start off, we are going, I guess to say, as shown in the Incredible Hulk number 340. As they square off yet again. Yeah, that's neat. Where is the... Oh, here it is. John Arcudi doing the story. Armando Gil doing the art, Gina Going doing the coloring, Janice Chang doing the lettering, Craig Anderson doing the editor, and the editor in chief. Well, one's editor, one's chief editor. So editor is Craig Anderson, then Tom DeFalco, I guess, editor in chief. So yeah, spiffy. So that's pretty cool. Some interesting books from my small collection of, what was it, X-Men Volume 2? I have absolutely no idea what I'd call that. Depending on which website I look up, it's either X-Men Volume 1 or X-Men Volume 2. I think the Marvel database calls it X-Men Volume 1. It actually says Volume 1 on the inside. So I guess if they call it Volume 1, it's just Volume 1. And 1, 2, 3, as I get all this sorted and set aside for the ending of the show, will be the graphic novel of the week 2018, missing issue 19, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. So this has been a pretty fun run. I remember the storyline from a lot of these. It's going to be the sort of thing that I will eventually go back and reread. 5, 4, 3, issue 2. Then all of the issue 1s that everybody was duped into buying because, oh, they put them together and they formed this gimmicky poster. Yeah, go set right there. All right, I'm going to set these. Oh, that's heavy. All right, I'm going to set these over here. All right, so if you made it through this long, I'll treat you to the graphic novel of the week to end today's live stream on. I have Wolverine Battles the Incredible Hulk. Marvel Comics. 2 Berserkers. 1, a green 1,000-pound gamma-spawned brute, the strongest and worst-tempered creature on the planet. The other, a small, vicious, adamantium-clawed assassin, and these two clash stand back, way back. This high-quality edition represents the very first appearance of Wolverine, one of Marvel's most popular heroes. So yeah, this is going to be, what is this? What was it? Hulk, Incredible Hulk number 180, 181. Oh, guess I could read down here. It says, originally presented in the Incredible Hulk number 180 and 181. So yeah. Len Wein did the writing. Herb Trimby did the penciling. Jack Abel, the inking. Artie Simic, lettering. Original editor, Roy Thomas. Evan Skolnick, assistant editor, reprint designer. Christy Scheel did the coloring. Gregory Wright, reprint editor. Tom DeFalco, the editor-in-chief. And this is copyright 1986, 1989. Yeah, we get something that isn't the glossy, thick paper, but it's not the newsprint either. It's a different type of paper, but it's still pretty good having a reprinting of those 2 issues Now, if you had those two issues that were singular, that would be pretty interesting to have. And here we have the first appearance of Wolverine. He's come a long way since his first appearance. And also, the Hulk doesn't look like that much anymore either. So yeah, Wolverine looks way different. His claws look way, way different. I think this is before somebody actually thought out the design for his claws, like how they actually functioned. And of course, they've fought and fought again numerous times. Oh, this is cool. Wolverine, the evolution of a character. There's old brown and yellow costume. Whereas here we had, what is this? The yellow and blue costume. This is the design for his cowl. And I'm kind of glad they changed things up for him. Yeah, that's more like it. Plus depending on which book you get, Wolverine is going to be presented differently from one book to the next. Like a previous comic book live stream, I was going over Havoc Wolverine Meltdown, the Meltdown miniseries. They had a more painterly style to the art, which looked just way different from this here. But yeah, pretty good to read. Check out Wolverine's first appearance. $4.95 cover issue for this little graphic novel, 2-issue graphic novel, but still pretty interesting to have. You can find this at a decent price. I have absolutely no idea what this goes for. I imagine you can go to a used bookstore and look through their comic books. You can probably find it in a dollar bin someplace. So let's see. I've actually hit the hour-and-a-half mark here as I go through all the books here. This has been fun. Oh, let me do this. Yeah. Yes. The era of the gimmick cover. Dun, dun, dun. Craziness. The 90s were crazy. All right. This has been fun. I'm going to wrap it up here for today. And I'll just check to see what time it was, my time here. Usually I try to do like 2 to 4. I got a late start today and went from like 2:30 to 4 o'clock. Still a good hour and a half. Sharing with you all a little bit of X-Men from the early 90s. Let's see, before I duck out, I want to thank you, each and every one of you who popped in for today. As I do this. Aha, here we go. And then I can do this right here. Aha. All right. First out of the gate, first one to join me today, Tina the Naughty Dragon. Hello there. And then Gap After Dark. Very cool. And then Melted Copper showed up. Thank you. Very cool to see you all here. And then Ray Lucard. And then Edge of Greetings from the Edge of Time. Haha. Very cool. And as I scrolling through the chat, making sure I don't forget anybody. All right. As I change up my music now to go to my ending stream music, I want to thank you all for whether you caught me live, if you're lurking around a bit, hanging out a spell. I want to thank you all. Very cool. Thank you, Gap. And have a good one. Yes, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon and evening. Until next week, everyone, catch you later.